What's up guys, welcome back to the channel part 2 of support and resistance. In this video I'm going to show you guys exactly how I draw my support and resistance and how I enter a trade. So let's not waste any time, let's get straight to this video. Alright guys, so today we're going to be looking at your JPY and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I draw my support and resistance and how I enter a trade. So the first thing first, what I like to do, I pretty like to zoom out of the chart and see what the market condition is at, right? So I'm a swing trader, so I like trading off the higher time frame. So I start from the monthly time frame all the way down to the 4-hour time frame. And I pretty much break it down all the way to 30 minutes to look for my entry. But today we're just going to focus on the higher time frame. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I mark up my chart and how I enter a trade. Now, if you guys haven't watched the previous video of support and resistance, I recommend you guys to watch it so you guys can pretty much understand what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So let's get started. Alright, so first thing first, like I said, I like to see what the market condition is pretty much doing, right? So we're going to be focused over here. We're not going to focus over here because already that happened in the past, but you're going to focus what the future is going to bring, right? So very simple. I like to see what the market is doing over here. So over here, you guys can see how the market is pretty much just trying to have a push to the upside, came back down, retested this area, right? So this area right here is an area of resistance, right? Go down to the weekly time frame, you guys can see how the area of resistance is being used as support over here to then continue back to the upside, right? So let's go back down here. So you guys can see we had a pullback here, retested this area to be used as support. It went back up. Price started breaking under, have a little retracement back to the upside, broke back down here, and then it started breaking back up to this side. So just by looking over here, you guys can see that price is trying to keep pushing to the upside, right? So very simple. We're going to zoom out and look for our support. So over here, you guys can see that price touched this area 1, 2, 3, 4 times, right? Price touched this area 4 times and has rejected the bottom. So this over here is already a key level that I'm very interested at. So you zoom out, you guys want to see what it was in the past. Very simple. Over here, it was used as support, right? We have support over here. We have this resistance. This resistance is actually a gap, right? What does a gap mean? A gap is when price literally just gaps that area and just continues back to the downside or the upside. So this over here is actually a gap. Over here, we have support. Over here, we have resistance, support, and support. Very simple. Go down to the weekly time frame, zoom out. You guys can see how pretty much that looks very nice, right? Resistance, support. Now, like I said in the previous video, whenever we're in an uptrend, right? Because the market moves in 3 different ways. We have an uptrend, a downtrend, and then the range, right? So let me show you guys an example over here. Just put this like this so you guys can pretty much see it. All right. So we have an uptrend, we have a downtrend, and then we also have a range, right? The range is when the market is just creating highs and lows. There's no break to the upside or break to a downside. So over here, we have a break to the upside, right? Literally how I said in the other video. Whenever price creates higher highs, we wait for a higher low to come and retest a broken structure. In this case, in the uptrend, we're retesting broken structure that is a resistance. On a downtrend, we're retesting an area of support that's going to be used as resistance to then sell. So just by looking over here, I already found my resistance, right? Very simple. I used to practice before I even actually got profitable with trading. Support and resistance was one thing that I would practice every single day. So whenever I get into the markets, I already know I can like just already see the support and resistance, not just by breaking down the whole chart. I already see it just by looking at it. So like over here, you have a resistance being used as support over here. It's pretty much very easy. I used to practice this every single day before I even got profitable. So anyway, so back to the video. Okay, so we already found our support. Now we're going to be looking for resistance. Resistance is going to be over here, right? Very simple. You guys are going to be looking left, right? What do you guys see over here? You have a resistance, a support being used as resistance. Now, like I said in the previous video, whenever price creates higher highs, we break above resistance, we retest, use as support to continue back up. We break under support to use as resistance to now come back down. That's a sell. Very simple. Now, let's go down to the weekly time frame to make sure it looks very nice. Okay, zoom out. Boom. There you go. Resistance, support. Resistance, support. Resistance. Very simple. Now, go back to the monthly time frame. Now that we already found our monthly support and resistance, now we're going to be looking what the market's pretty much doing in the middle, right? So we already found the higher support and resistance in the higher time frame. Now, keep in mind, whenever you guys draw a support and resistance in any time frame, for example, over here we're drawing in the monthly time frame, it's only going to be valid for that time frame. It's not going to be valid for the 4-hour time frame, because you guys can pretty much see that the market support and resistance all the way above here and all the way below here. So the market is literally in the middle, so we can't literally just use that support and resistance. So that's just for the monthly time frame. Now, Just by looking over here in the monthly time frame, right? We had a push to the downside, a push back to the upside. Just by looking over here, you guys can see the market gave us a pattern. This pattern over here is called a double bottom. That is a bullish pattern. So we have a break above a neckline, right? A neckline or resistance. In this case, we broke above this resistance, right? Very simple. Just draw a square box. Highlight this area. Boom. Right now, my area of interest is actually going to be this area. Why? Because again, we have a high, potential higher low, retest broken structure, resistance, resistance. In that area, I'm actually interested to actually take a long position. So boom, this is my area of interest to go long. Now we go down to the weekly time frame. You guys can see how the weekly time frame, it looks very nice, right? We have a high, low, higher low, potential higher low, retest, resistance, resistance to be used as support. Also retest the EMA to then continue back to the upside. So that's an area of interest. Now we go down to the 4-hour time frame, and in the 4-hour time frame is where pretty much we wait for our entry. Now, me personally, what I would like for this trade, right? So let's say the market's already coming back down here. I'm not gonna enter over here. I'm gonna enter the next higher low, meaning I will go back down here. You see this area of resistance right here, like this new high. I want to see price to start breaking above this area. So let me just put actually slide like this. All right, so I would like to see price break above this area and then to be used as support to then continue back to the upside. That's the way that I trade, right? That's pretty much how I trade. Very simple. I would like to say a clean break above, clean retest to then continue back to the upside. Very simple, right? Let me just extend this over here. All right, so now we just wait for our entry, right? All right, so we're just ranging in the middle. We're having a break to the upside. There you go. We have a very strong bullish candle, right? Now, what we're going to be waiting for is the next higher low rejections, right? Now, for my indicator, like my entry signals are pretty much, for example, for bullish, I wait for either a double bottom, an inverted head and shoulder, a bullish engulfing, a clean higher low, and just clean rejections. That's pretty much what I wait for and for my entries. So let's see what we get in here. All right, so price has come down. We're pretty much touching this area. Let's see what goes up here. All right, so very nice rejection. See what this candle does. Rejection again. Oh, here I'm not gonna enter just because how these candles are very weak. Just not very strong candle. It's a very weak candle. So you see price is just literally in a range. All right, let's see what price does over here. Boom, we have a very strong bullish engulfing, right? Now, I'm not going to enter over here because we got strong bullish engulfing. I'm going to wait that confirmation, right? We're going to wait for a pullback. So now that we have a very strong bullish candle here, we're just going to wait for the second pullback to then enter. So let's see what we get over here. See, exactly, told you guys we're going to wait for another pullback. Now we want to see price reject this area and gave us a bullish confirmation. So what we get in here. Boom, there you go, a bullish engulfing. That's already an indicator that we're going to go long. Now, we have a very clean high, higher low, right? That's one indicator that we already know that we're going to go long, right? Go down to the weekly time frame. The weekly is retesting this area using as support. Resistance, resistance being used as support. Very simple. Now we go back to the 4-hour time frame where the 4-hour has a bullish engulfing above. Resistance being used as support. So that right there is actually my entry. Now, what do I personally target? I like to target a daily structure or weekly structure. So for in this case, we're going to target a daily structure. Now, we're going to be looking left, right? Just by looking over here, in the past, you guys can see that we have support being used as resistance. Very simple. Now we just highlight that area. And we're actually going to target back down up to that area again. Now, resistance, no, support, resistance. This over here, I'm going to explain this in a couple minutes. Let me just finish this one, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you guys could have entered this trade. So we're gonna focus on this one. So we're gonna be targeting back to this area of resistance, right? So pretty much something like this, and then we're gonna have a very nice stop loss, like 40, 35 pips stop loss. Let's do 40. Boom, there. Now, whenever price does reach back to this area, what I would personally do, right? I wouldn't enter a sell just because it's going back to a resistance, right? We want to make sure it's clean, right? So what I would do, I'll personally either wait for a break above, right? Break above this area of resistance to then be used as support to then continue back to the upside, right? So that's one area that I'll be very interested to go long again. Another area, if let's say 4-hour candle starts breaking above, if you guys look left, we have this area, right? This area was broken above. You guys zoom out, you guys can see how this price over here is literally being used as resistance, being used as support, resistance, not to be next to be used as support. Very simple. So everything in the past is going to repeat itself. So history is always going to repeat itself. So over here, just by looking at this, price literally breaks above resistance, right? We get the pullback, retest this area of resistance, resistance to be used as support, bullish engulfing, boom, we enter. Same thing over here. Let's say price comes breaks above, we wait for the pullback, retest this area of resistance, and then we enter. Very simple. So now let's just see how this trade plays out. Boom, there you go. TP was hit right there. Very simple, right? We got a higher low, bullish engulfing, and we got all the confirmation of the higher time frame. Very simple. Now that price has touched this area, like I said, we're either gonna wait for a break of retest over here or a break above. So let's see what price actually does over here. Let me just put this. All right, so we want to see what price is gonna be doing over here. All right, so we're gonna extend this a little bit. All right, so price is now down at this area. Are we going to enter now? No, we're going to wait for a bullish confirmation, right? Either a double bottom, inverted head and shoulder, or bullish engulfing. So let's see what price give us. Okay, so we're breaking under. Okay, so we're now having a bullish move to the upside. All right, there you go, right? So you see this right here. Look left. We have a left shoulder, a right shoulder. Price literally creates a very nice low, high, higher low, high. This over here is actually a double bottom. You guys look left, we're retesting this area of resistance, resistance to then be used as support, retest resistance, being used as support now, very strong bullish engulfing, right? Very simple. That's exactly where we're going to enter this trade. We're going to target back down up here, and then our stop loss, very simple. Boom. And now we just let this trade run. There you go. TP was hit. Now the same thing. Price was breaking above. We do the opposite. Wait for the pullback, retest this area to then continue back to the upside. So it's very, very simple, guys. My strategy with my support and resistance is actually very simple. I like to wait for the break and retest. Pretty much in the higher time frame was what I trade. So I like to wait for the break and retest in the higher time frame. For example, here we did take this trade off the monthly time frame, right? Look monthly. Let's just go back to monthly. Let's go back to monthly. We wait for the retest of this double bottom, retest area of resistance to then be used as support to then continue back to the upside. So it's pretty much how I trade. Now, let me show you guys exactly how you guys could have caught this trade over here. So it's very simple. This is how I would look at the market at this area. So if you guys zoom out, you guys go back to the weekly time frame, you guys can see that we're pretty much back at this area of resistance, right? Now, to then continue back long, again, we're actually waiting for price to come this area to then continue back long, right? But for in this case, price in the daily structure, you guys can see how the daily is pretty much creating higher highs and higher lows. And then over here, price is kind of in the range. So either we're waiting for a break above or break below to continue the trend. So for in this case, let's wait. Boom, we have a break below, right? What did we break below? Over here, we broke below support. Now what's going to be the next move? Obviously, the next lower high. Very simple. We have a low, lower high, retest broken structure. Support to then be used as resistance to then sell. Very simple. Now we just wait for pullback. Say when the market pulls up back here. Boom, right? We have a pullback back there. Very simple. We enter the market. Say our stop loss something like this, then our TP is going to be back down to this wick. Very simple. Now we just let this trade run. There you go. TP was hit. Very, very simple, guys. So everything that I trade is based off this. This all the signals that I send in the VIP group. I explain this every single day in the VIP group. So it's pretty much this game that I trade. It's just being patient, guys. So I hope you guys did learn something in this video. If you guys have any question, any doubt, you guys can feel free to ask me down below the comments. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching and have a nice day. Peace out.